listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
And good evening, welcome to Outside the Box here on criticalmassradio.co.uk. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, casting from an undisclosed location somewhere in the universe. See, I am everywhere. Anyway, where do I want to go tonight? Well, I wanted to touch on a couple other things last night that I didn't get to, so I'm going to touch on it tonight because it's still open on my browser, and that's kind of where I like to go. For those that don't know, I am originally from Ireland. That's where my game piece showed up at the start of this game path. And, they call it Northern Ireland, Ulster to be more precise, Belfast. And, with that, you can call it a vision I had last week, a week ago today. The character that I first met, quite an interesting being, just beyond beautiful, but his left ear was a little red hand, right? So that kind of led me to, do the tie-in for Ulster, because the quote flag, unquote, of Ulster is a English cross. Just like England, it's the red cross on the white background, but in the center it has a red hand, typically a right hand, with the thumb and the four fingers pointing up. And right above that is a crown, right? And the irony, having, lived there, grown up there and here, the irony is such a joke. Because here I was raised in the traditional orange Protestant rah-rah, the Queen, pro-Masonic and all the rest of this shit. Go figure, I'm the one that's dismantling it all. And that's exactly how I was raised, which is really funny. I think it's actually quite hilarious. But, you ask anyone that's of that stripe, I mean, I'm talking about my own here if you want to put it in context, right? Idiots. Do they have any idea what they're doing? Sorry, you cannot claim to be Irish. If that's the flag you wave, and I watched family and friends and everybody, Red Hand of Ulster and the Union Jack and the rest of the shit that goes along with it, right? And it always befuddled me. Let's just say when I was 11, got to witness something that, children just shouldn't see in terms of violence and destruction, whatever. That was the day I grew up, and every sense of childhood innocence went up in the same way the pub went up with the bomb that was in it that killed 2 people. And, my sister, my dad, and I, we were there. Actually, we got there before the emergency vehicles because the bomb, it was about a minute away from where we were living at the time at Mount Vernon House. And, it was, I just couldn't figure it out. I looked at it, and it was that surreal moment of time standing still, and it was just, I can't, to this day, I cannot put it into words, but I'll tell you, it was a very profound awakening. Pretty much that was the wake-up call to set me on this path in particular of trying to figure out, why do people kill each other? And, well, I'll tell you why, because someone has you convinced that you should, because that's not our natural tendency. We are creators of life. And the aberration that wants to take life and control life is the evil that is, hereby destroyed. They're just bad thoughts to me. Those wishing harm on another, that which you wish upon another, you've wished upon yourself. So I gotta tell you, if you're wishing destruction on something or someone, that's the mirror. I don't wish destruction on anything, but I certainly will not trespass in free will choice of someone by their choice taking themselves out. And that's, to me, these are but thoughts that are being eradicated from the human consciousness right now. as more and more people, countless more every day, come to this realization of something's not quite right in Kansas, Toto. No, because you're in Oz, Dopey. That's kind of the joke. And many of you are seeing Oz as it is, and you're seeing the magic, and that childlike wonderment is going to return, and that calm and that peace within yourself is returning as well, and it's quite something. That's, if I could wish something for anyone, that would be to find that peace, you know. But getting back to the Red Hand of Ulster, it's an interesting history. I remember my dad. I'll tell you the story that I was told regarding the Red Hand of Ulster. It involved two sons of a king of the O'Neill clan, and the one brother was big and strong, and the other one was, you know, weak and sickly, but, you know, far more intelligent, right? So it was a beautiful allegory again of this whole, you know, might makes right bullshit versus the compassionate peaceful. Anyway, it was decided that they would have a race in boats where they would row to shore from a set distance, and whoever touched the shore of Ulster first became its king. And of course, the bigger brother, you know, the warmonger, he was outpacing his I believe younger brother to the point where he was almost ashore, and the younger brother stood in his boat and cut off the right hand and threw it ashore. Again, the rules were very simple. Say what you mean what you say. It was the first one to touch the shore, and that was his flesh that touched first. And he sacrificed his right hand in order to do that. So that was the story that was handed down to me from my dad and my grandfather. So never really looked into it much beyond that. I mean, I looked at a lot of stuff, and of course hearing all the different stories, but you got to remember, when you're raised Protestant in Northern Ireland, you're raised typically anglicized bullshit, where, you know, you got people claiming to be Irish, but they're nothing more than transplanted English. And again, this is not a slight on the English. It's the crown aspect when I say that, right? So it's crownified, if you will, way of thinking. And by no means is that a slight. And by the way, if you took it as one, that's your ego, and let it go. I'm trying to show the energies and the allegories here. So anyway, check this out yesterday, and I'll just go through what's on Wikipedia. You can look for it on Wiki, Red Hand of Ulster. And if you want to share along here, I'm going to expand a little bit on it, but I just find it incredibly ironic that the very ones that claim to be Irish, and you'll understand the context very shortly, are the ones waving a flag with the royal crown over top of that red hand, which of course tells you visually that particular king of Ulster, the O'Neills, was under the rule of another crown. Bullshit. Sorry about that. Anyway, the Red Hand of Ulster in Irish, I wish I could pronounce this. This is one of the things that was robbed from me, my natural tongue, being Gaelic. Lam Derg Ulad is a symbol used in heraldry. Well, we all know what that is. To denote the Irish province of Ulster. And all of its provincials, you know, the Hicks, the unrefined, uneducated. It is an open right hand colored red with the fingers pointing upwards, the thumb held parallel to the fingers, and the palm facing forward. It is less commonly known as the Red Hand of O'Neill. Its origins are said to be attributed to the mythical Irish figure Labraid Lam Derg, Labraid of the Red Hand, and appears in other mythical tales passed down from generation to generation in the oral tradition, as it was to me. The symbol is rooted in Irish Gaelic culture and is particularly associated with the O'Neill clan of Ulster. In some versions, the left hand is used and or the thumb is opened. So the mythical origins. Now, when you understand the real meaning behind the red hand and what it truly represents to the true Irish, the true Celts, you'll understand why it's so oxymoronic to have that flying with a British crown over top of it. It's just retarded. Anyway, it is generally accepted that that this Irish Gaelic symbol originated in pagan times, and was first associated with the mythical figure Labréad Lam Dearg, or Labréad Lam Dearg, Labréad of the Red Hand. According to one myth, the kingdom of Ulster had at one time no rightful heir. Because of this, it was agreed that a boat race should take place, and that whosoever's hand is the first to touch the shore of Ireland, so shall he be made the king. One potential king so desired the kingship that, upon seeing that he was losing the race, he cut off his hand and threw it to the shore, thus winning the kingship. The hand is most likely red to represent the fact that it would have been covered in blood. Well, allegorical red is all about emotions. Okay, I'll get into that a bit later. According to some versions of the story, the king who cut off his hand belonged to the O'Neill clan, which apparently explains its association with them. Another variation of this story concludes that it was none other than Niall of the 9 hostages who severed his own hand in order to win his crown from his brother. Interesting. Neil, there's that Neil again, the Capricorn, right? These are not coincidences. It's all in the sounds. And of course, the 9 hostages, host ages, or the Ho stakes. A different myth tells of 2 giants who engaged in battle. Well, again, this is the allegory of the physical and the spiritual, the 2 giants, the 2-headed giant and Jack the Giant Slayer, right? That's the emotions and the ego versus the purity of spirit, the compassion. So anyway, a different myth tells of 2 giants who engaged in battle. One had his hand cut off by the other, and a red imprint of the hand was left on the rocks. Now, the usage, here's where it gets interesting. The red hand symbol is believed to have been used by the O'Neill clan during its 9 Years' War, there's that 9 again, against the spread of English control, no less. Their cry, Lam Dearg Abu, red hand to victory, was also associated with the O'Neill. So while there was a crown above that hand, that crown to me is garbage, it's toast. Coats of arms used by those surnames are of O'Neill descent. O'Donegal, Catane, Macaoda, and other names that I won't even try to pronounce. Say that's what get ripped off from me. But again, if I read it out phonetically, I'll have to work this stuff out, but it'll all make total sense. To name just a few, all feature the red hand in some form, recalling their common descent. Descent? Yeah. On the O'Neill coat of arms featuring the red hand, the motto is Lam Dearg Éireann, Red Hand of Ireland. So it's an all-encompassing heart, right? That's what the 4 chambers of Ulster, Munster, Leinster, and Connacht, the 4 provinces, the 4 chambers of the heart. And of course, it's the divine feminine right, Ulster, that for so long, you're familiar with the Troubles, they tried to pin it on the Pope and the Queen, Catholics and Protestants. But again, it was just the same divide and conquer, because the Pope and the royals all one and the same, church and state. There is no separation until the apostolic letter, which sent some clear information out that divide and conquer is being destroyed. That's why I laugh at anyone that's trying to still put together a system outside of it. I mean, listen, that garbage got taken out. Why would you want to keep rebuilding it? But let's get back to this. The arms of the chiefs of the Scottish clan MacNeil of Barra. Remember we talked about that yesterday, Barat Anna, which is Britannia. A lot of this information, like Ben in Scottish, is like mountain. That was covered, I think, yesterday as well. Anyway, the arms of the chiefs of the Scottish clan MacNeil of Barra contain the red hand. The clan has traditionally claimed descent from Niall of the 9 hostages. Many other families have used the red hand to highlight an Ulster ancestry. The head of the Guinness family, the Earl of Ivy, has 3 red hands on his arms, granted as recently as 1891. Yeah, interesting, one of the few things I actually enjoy drinking, and I have 4 Guinness World Records. Isn't that funny? Yeah, just a little coincidence, I guess. The head of the Guinness family, indeed. After Walter de Burgh became Earl of Ulster in 1243, the de Burgh cross was combined with the red hand to create the modern flag of Ulster. There's that De Berg. Well, Berg, again, mountain, again, of truth, right? Or, in this case, it's got the hex in it, the G, so, well, let me see. The Ber hex of the Trinity, that's the H. Eta, which is capital H, twin pillars of Solomon, joined by the Rainbow Bride, the bridge across them, uniting them, right? Go back to King Means and your aha DNA moments where you're building your DNA chain. Yeah, all ties back. The red hand is present on a number of Ulster counties, crests such as Cavan, Tyrone, County Londonderry, which I just called Derry. They threw the London on there. Antrim, that's my home turf, and Monaghan. It was later included in the now abolished Government of Northern Ireland flag. It is also used by many other official and non-official organizations throughout the province of Ulster and Ireland. The red hand can be regarded as one of the very few cross-community symbols used in Northern Ireland. Due to its roots as a Gaelic Irish symbol, nationalist Republican groups have used and continue to use it. For example, the Republican Irish Citizen Army, the Republican National Graves Association, Belfast, the Irish Transport and General Workers Union, the Ulster GAA Association, along with numerous GAA clubs in Ulster, as well as Ulster Rugby and the Ulster Hockey Union. As the most identifiable symbol of Ulster, it is also used by Ulster's Unionists and Loyalists, such as its use in the Ulster Covenant in 1912, and in the arms of the Government of Northern Ireland from 1922. That goes back to the Civil War. The Ulster Volunteers and Loyalist paramilitary groups such as the UVF, Ulster Volunteer Force, and the UDA, Ulster Defence Association, among others. And my grandparents on my mother's side were involved in both of those. My grandfather on my father's side was involved in the Black and Tans. So, yeah, just a little dirt. But anyway, yeah, come out of interesting roots, huh? Well, it's like I said before, it takes a dragon to slay one. But it's, and again, it's inside of a six-pointed star or Merkaba. So interesting again to note that there you have Israel claiming the six-pointed star on their flag when it's been on the Ulster flag long before. And there's another tie-in to the thievery of the Hyksos, Egyptians, from Lower Egypt, I don't know the thieves, the werewolves and the vampires of Hyksos, right? Again, after the Exodus, that's when the name Hebrew stopped being used for Jews, and it was turned into Israelites. And of course, when they left, they trashed Egypt, absolutely trashed it. Of course, moving through to Rome, etc. There's the formations of the Ra shields and the Ra pharaohs that set up the Roman aspect, and this truth, the libraries of Alexandria, etc., were all raped and pillaged for their information. Carthage was laying to ruins, and again, Roman civil law is based on at that point 900-year-old Phoenician law. So they understood the power of the word, of the sound, and the spells contained within them, and these were corrupted. But I have to warn those that have corrupted the truth that you have not a good fate waiting for you, and there's still time. There's still time, not much. So make your call. As my grandfather used to say, you make your bed, you lie in it. So if you want to shit all over your bed, well, you're lying in it. That's kind of how it works, right? But I thought it very interesting that the very paramilitary organizations, and these individuals, I knew lots of them. I hung out with them. I went to school with them. And, they'll be the first to tell you that they're Irish, and I'll be the first to tell you you're full of shit. You're royalists. Do you want the Queen or the King of England, of the Crown, as your master? Then fuck off. Go hang out with them over there. Hang out in the square mile. But I mean, the whole idiocy of using the traditional symbol of true Gaelic Irish history as a banner to stand under when it's crowned. But there it is, right on the flag itself. It's got the Merkaba. You'll see it. And Dia shared something with me today regarding Merkaba. I'll see if I can actually pull that up. And yeah, because we already talked about means. But there's the Northern Ireland connection again. Yeah, quite a lot we have going here. So, and again, the only thing I can do with you guys is share my path as it unfolds for me, just to show you all of these coincidences, and you will have exactly the same thing going on with you from your perspective, from your game piece where you came in. You're going to have the exact same story, just told differently. But it will all point back to one thing. It'll all point back to the truth. You know, oh, it looks like my Outlook's not wanting to load up. What are the odds of that? Oh, look, 155 notices on Facebook. So one of my former addresses, Country Club Drive. So where are we here? And where did I want to go? Let me see. Oh, I had a few questions as well on Facebook regarding situations, and one of them was involving. Here, let me put it to you really clear. The documents that are on my website and the articles and the essays and all the rest of it are not there as your get out of responsibility free. You say, no. You see, that's the mere opposite. If the attitude is thinking that these documents can be used and it's ego-driven, gimme. No, this stuff will not work for you. It will absolutely not work for you. What will work for you is when you actually know who you are, and when you've actually had enough of being a suckling on the dead crone's tits. When you've had enough of that, that's when it works for you, and not before it. And it really is. It's a change of heart, a complete change of heart. If you want to continue on playing the same game, please do not expect any of. I don't care what you use, where it will work for someone like me and others that get what is really going on here. It will not work for those that are trying to use it, quote, as a defense for doing something stupid. You know, that's the responsibility of you, the individual. You see, and this is not a get-out-of-jail-free card just because you think you can do something. Well, you know, that's completely the wrong perspective on it. It's just not about, well, I can get away with anything. Well, you're dealing in the same mindset as the Hyksos. No, you won't, and you will see very shortly that no, you won't. Because I'll tell you, the card spread for March 22nd, 322, Magic Day, did not bode well for the system. Right? The final outcome was the healing of the maimed king, which allegorically is the return of the divine feminine. Right? King means a corpse has been found. I just had to locate it in my mind, and you know, this Narmer palette and the whole trail there, and with what I've been doing over the last week, brought this home. So don't tell me we don't do this together, because this is information that was shared from outside to me. This is why when we gather at this table, we do this together. I simply, you know, push the buttons and make sure the table's open. I just set the table for the night. And we sit here and we all eat equally and we give equally. This is why you are all critically important in this, each and every one of you. And the more that you stand in the truth, the easier it gets for those of us like myself that stand in the truth to empower our collective reality shift. And it does not take many. I would hazard to say it only takes 12. Out of 7.3 billion, I'd say our odds are pretty good. And that's the gathering that we have here. You know, we get the 12 together, we create the 13th, the Ophiuchus. And just anything that is terminal, the ego and evil, there is no negotiating with it. There is no negotiating with anything that would try to deceive or turn the rules around on you. Just like I was sharing last night with that movie Pompeii. The guy thinks he's going to be released after he has his final kill. And they said, and of course the Celt knew better. That's the same thing I said. I spent 28 days solitary proving that they don't follow their own rules. And it is a lot of fun making them nervous. Got to tell you, the last day down there, I got fucking standing in the box in chains and, 28 days in a solitary. Go ahead, ask me if I give a fuck. What are you going to do to scare me? Throw me in jail and in chains? Oh, right, that didn't work for you, did it? Right? Up one side, down the other. Up one side, down the other. Until the third judge that day. A whole courthouse just for me? Seriously? 3 different judges? Seriously? All different crown attorneys? Seriously? And I'm not a threat? Seriously? That's the threat that truth is. That's how powerful you are. When you stand in it pure. I mean, guys, listen, it's as simple as the comment that came up on the page was regarding a DUI and someone using the I who shall not be named or I am the witness. Sorry. If you're going to, drink and get into a vehicle, well, there is a potential of creation of harm. The mere fact that you're doing that is that intention. That's an agreement. I think we can all agree that having a few drinks and getting behind the wheel is not a good idea. It really isn't. So I don't care, 1 or 10, it doesn't matter to me. It's the intention of the potential harm that can be done. So that decision was already made. All things for a reason. And if this is the last lesson that an individual needs to get this, where truth and only truth will set you free, there's no shortcuts to this, guys. There's no gray area here. You're either standing in truth or you're standing in a load of bullshit. I like walking barefoot on the beach, not neck deep with hip waders on and a bunch of shit. So the more shit you want to get involved in, well, the more bogged down you're going to be, right? So again, these are the responsible choices. These are the choices we all must make, and we all must stand in. It's not about doing the same old Whore of Babylon physical bullshit. It doesn't work. Have you noticed? Have a look around at the insanity on this planet. Look at all the aberrated points of consciousness. They can't wait to get out and harm others. And typically they're wearing uniforms. So I like the description given in Jack Reacher as far as we're talking about the guy that was supposedly guilty of sniping 5 people. And during the discussion, Tom Cruise's character, Jack Reacher, said there's 2 types of people that get into the military. Standard groups. And one of them is, well, it's a family thing to do. You follow in tradition. That's 1. 2, well, someone just needs a job, needs work. 3, what was 3 again? Because I know what 4 is. 4 is the nasty bit. Those that join up because of this concept of need to serve and be honorable, right? So it's that hero mentality, right? And then of course the 4th group, which is currently the most common that you will find in all militaries, all police forces, and they sign up, so they have the legal right, which is bullshit, to murder. It's a legal license to kill. That's what it is. And that to me is a psychotic. And you'll see that's the majority of the people out there. I mean, when you get up in the morning and put a gun on, your intention is not to go put smiles on people's faces. That is what you are wearing. By your actions, you are known. And that doesn't mean you have to pull the gun out. I mean the simple fact you agree to have one on your hip. The simple fact that you think that you need a gun. It's a very degraded level. Very degraded. And these are the people that we get taught to look up to? Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. This is where the Hitlers and what have you get made, get created. And I don't like saying that because it's, you know, that's another alternate history all by itself, right? You know, it boggles the mind. The bottom line is take full responsibility for yourself and your actions. If there is potential harm in any of your actions, well, guess what? The universe is going to be slapping you back right quick right now. And I mean right quick. And those that stand in peace, those that stand in calm and know who they are, and stand in the benevolent truth, that truth must be impeccable. And it's not an ego definition of truth. Ego requires justification. Ego requires all sorts of different little things to justify its position of why it still feels the need to do something wrong or see something wrong, where it's just an interplay. Right? It's all just a thought to me. You know, it is. It's time, people. Someone else tagged me regarding a situation. As soon as I got into it, it was all claims and all the rest. Guys, do me a favor. I'm going to keep asking you. Stop sending me questions regarding legal shit. You're asleep at the wheel. You're still caught in the matrix. I'm going to give the same answer that I give everybody. Go to creativegaia.wordpress.com. Read everything there. Then I dare you to call me. I dare you to text me. Because you won't need to if you get what's really there. You won't need to call. You won't need to ask questions. Because for the first time in a very long time, you'll wake up to who you are. Who and what you are. If you were serving the physical, you were serving the whore of Babylon, the dead. If you serve spirit, you were serving immortal life within. And where that leads, well, let's just play, shall we? I'm going to walk in the truth, and I'm going to keep pulling away and plucking away and adding little bits and pieces to my DNA with every aha moment that I get. You know? And that's really all it takes. There's really no effort required. This is the joke. You don't even have to think. You just have to play. And then you start seeing things unveil. What was the one word that was put up today? It was so easy to prove. Oh, comparison. Right? Well, comparison. Well, it's looking at one thing or looking at another and comparing them, yeah? Well, it's right in the word. Com, with, pair, to, eyes on. With two sets of eyes on. And what was that thing that came in and went out? Eyes on? Ice on? Yeah. It's time to get your eyes on. But isn't that interesting? Com, pair, eyes on. Yeah. Two pairs of eyes on. You're looking at both sides of it. So it's time to put both pairs of eyes on in terms of this duality and see good and evil at the same time and get on the back of that dragon, or it's going to keep chomping your head off or smacking your ass with its tail. The tail's going to smack you. You fight with the tail, the head's going to bite you. There's only one way to kill that dragon, and that's take its heart out. It's the only way. And that dragon heart that I'm talking of is inside of you. You've heard the old story of the two wolves fighting. And the grandfather is telling his grandson, it doesn't matter what culture it came from, because we're all one anyway. And the grandfather says to his grandson, he says, inside of you there are two wolves fighting. One is filled with hate, anger, greed, lust, carnal and physical wants and desires and needs. And the other is just pure bliss, joy, love, and peace, the law of truth. And they're at war within you. The grandson, you've heard this story, the grandson looks at his grandfather. Which one? Well, grandfather, with this fight, which one wins? And the grandfather answers very clearly. He says, the one you feed. So keep feeding that fear. Keep feeding that greed. Keep feeding the rumor mongers. Keep feeding the ego imprints. Keep feeding that. And please do not expect to have anything different in your life other than more of the same. But I assure you, it's a catch-22. But when you stand in truth, that veil of invisibility, and that shield goes up. Is it a coincidence that the girl in Susan's Storm, here I am, Duality Storm, and my ex Suzanne actually, right? Just a little connection there. What was her two powers? She was invisible, and she could put up a shield. And of course, Fantastic Four was 3 males and 1 female. You got Stretch that can stretch the truth, I guess. You've got Thing, well, that's just a meat stick. Complete body stuck carnal. And then, of course, you've got the Human Torch, which was everything about ego. Look at me, look what I can do. The fires of emotion, right? It plays out wonderfully. You know, it's crazy. But that's what happens when you stand in truth. You get that divine feminine negative spirit, that beautiful magnetic source. So the spirit that is in that magnetic negatives, anything negative physical that's coming at you bounces off. And anything positive coming at you is attracted because you're open to it. So there's your trinity. You're repelling the negative physical and attracting the positive physical. And that's the reality that shifts, and this is how we push forward, where we get into these higher frequencies, where the true nature of who and what we are, the energy, the pure life source energy that we are, starts to manifest. This is what it means to make the heart light. You are the creation void within that has that light within you. And all I ask is that you let it shine. It's very simple, but I assure you it's not easy. There will be things pulling at you, pulling at your heartstrings. And these are the physical illusions to see if you can break free of the matrix. Because in all truth for me, all realities exist. All of those that you love, those parts of you that you love, are still there. Death is the illusion. Everyone and everything you've ever known is still there. Me, I'm cool with walking towards that, to make that manifest. It's like in The Mummy Part 2, out of the Book of Life, the word that was read that was historic was amenphis. Amenphis. Right? A manifest. Right? What does a stork bring? Stork brings life. That was the hieroglyph that in both movies, like neither one of them could read. First it was Jonathan, then it was Alex. So there you go. But I just wanted to touch on a few things, you know. This is about self-responsibility. It's about taking care of yourself, getting yourself sorted out. Other people's quarrels are not your concern. Don't make them that way. You're caught up in the ego imprinting. That's the little chatterboxes that sit around and want to imprint each other, because misery loves company. Oh, ego loves it when it gets into that seething. I've watched it so many times. I've experienced it more times than I'd care to count. That's okay. I know what it is. It's just program. I don't take it personally. I just look at it and go, oh, well. You'll wake up or you won't. Either way, if you do, great. If you don't, you're just a bad thought. You're going to get eliminated anyway. That's your call. I mean, really, it's just about eradicating all the evil thoughts, isn't it? These are the things that we have to heal within ourselves. And those things you can't heal, well, you, like Jack Reacher did at the end, you put a bullet in its head. Silver bullet, throw truth through it. Because I certainly don't want any of that garbage in my reality. I've seen enough. I've seen enough to give me a good contrast to say, no, I'm good with bliss. I'm good with just playing and experiencing and just being. We've got a rather large universe that we have created. Wouldn't time be better spent to play this time game, better spent exploring and playing? I think that would be a better alternative, don't you? Or you can keep playing the same old, same old. I've had lots of wonderful chats with people today. Had a chance to go and have a coffee with Vicky as well. Just it's so simple. It's so very, very simple. And guys, breathe. Take your time. The ego's in a hurry. The ego wants to get it done. And I have to tell you, there's not a day goes by that I don't want this now. But I put that away. And I accept all things. Things are as they are meant to be. Everything is perfect. I just maintain the neutral observer position. Keep doing what I'm doing. Looking for the little truths and the aha moments. Knowing full well that each time I do that, I'm just adding more to the armory. I'm adding more to that bridge across this nightmare. And I'm watching the system collapse around me as a result. If you don't think that we're not creating a lot of pressure, now you already know what's going down. I mean, this is, 322. This is a, skull and bones number today, right? Well, sorry, Camlan as the representative card. That's the beast going to destroy itself from the inside. We've moved beyond the wasteland. Actually, I'll read the outcome. The healing of the maimed king. And you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a 9 of Cups. There's the consciousness of emotions. Funny how that works, eh? The healing of the maimed king. Success, accomplishment, good health, kindness and compassion. Overcoming obstacles. Restored peace and happiness. Gratitude and goodwill, relief and joyous celebrations. A team united in vision makes success a reality. Sharing blessings with others, emotional well-being and the dawn of dreams. Great satisfaction in a task well done. As it was meant to be. As it was always meant to be. We've come through the dark times. We've come through the gold and silver and iron ages very quickly in terms of money. That's another fractal that happens in every empire. And right now we're dealing, like I said, with coins that are no better than iron slugs you can make in a machine shop at school. I know, I used to do that. That was a pinball freak, right? Anyway, that's another story. 22 gauge 7/8 punch, by the way. Anyone wants to know? just to let you know. Yeah, it worked a trait. Same size as a quarter. And about the same weight. Well, it's the same weight now, eh? So there you go. Yeah, I mean, it's a complete debased currency. It's garbage. Even copper has been removed. It's been removed for a long time. You've got nothing but zinc-plated whatever. As soon as a penny's magnetic, you got problems. But yeah, enough of my little rant here. That's enough. Let's get everybody in the table here, and let's stay the focus on the responsibility that we all carry individually and the importance of that, because the truth will not defend those that will not defend the truth. And being irresponsible is defending the truth, that it's nothing more than a 5-year-old child again walking through the mall with an Uzi and a flamethrower. You see, the infinite power that you wield for all creation. Remember, you're the all-unknowing in a lowered state of awareness, aka the unknowing, with all the creation power. The all-knowing don't have that. That's why it must be granted by you. You see, energy cannot be taken from you. It must be duped out of you. And the minute you do not let it be duped out of you is the minute you're standing in truth. That's when you're not giving your energy to the vampires and the werewolves that love going around sucking everybody's blood and ripping them to shreds. There's your underworld allegory. Have a look at it. The vampires were the ones that kept the werewolves, or the dogs on a leash. There's your dogs. They're the ones out with the flashy blue and red lights chasing cars like any good dog would. Go and get treats from their master. Oh, look, I fetched some paper. Oh, here's some treats for you. Table scraps. And their masters have masters. Just because they get a few more table scraps doesn't make them any more of a master. It still makes them a slave. If you serve anything outside of yourself, you are a slave to it. I serve all. I serve me, magnetic electric. That is my intention. So let's stay on the path of responsibility. I'm tired of the woe is me. Been there, played that role. Quite a whiny bitch at some points. All the realities in your world are your creation. Take responsibility for it. Well, we have Janet with the line open. Again, guys, you can call in at 661-467-2401. And, of course, Skype in from the Blog Talk page. And once on the board, you can hit 1 on your phone dial pad or open up the dial pad on Skype and hit 1 there, and that lets me know that you want to get into the chat. And, Janet, how are you doing?
Awesome. How are you, Kate?
I don't know. How am
great.
I? Okay, there you go. You see? You get to be the observer of me. And you sound like you're doing friggin' awesome.
Yeah, really good. I wanted to share on that tapestry that I've been decoding, there's 8-pointed stars in every corner, and there's a ship with the Maltese cross, and there's 3 ships, and the front one has an angel type woman with wings, and then right next to it is the prayer of Jabez, and it's on the God of Israel saying, "Oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory, that your hand would be with me, and that you would keep me from evil, that I may not cause pain." So God granted him what he requested. 1 Chronicles 4:10. So I just wanted to share that because in case it goes with somebody else's clue.
Oh, excellent. And now let's remember, we're going to dehexify the whole God word. When you understand that is simply truth.
Yeah.
That's the capital T that the letters G-O-D create when laid over top of each other in the mirror. So anytime anytime I hear that word, that's the visual I get is T, the law of truth, love, the highest note in the scale, and that's where you must stand. So I'm really starting to, I think we'll redefine that word into simply T.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
That
makes sense.
That fits you to a T, doesn't it?
Perfect.
And not the lower Ka-se one either. Ka, spirit, se, creation. Upper Egypt, uppercase, or lower Egypt, lowercase. And these are just allegorical. They're right there for you to see. Once you remove the clashing of the symbols and just simply understand what's really going on behind it, and that's where the Druids and the mystics, that was the lesson. That's the truth, I'll tell you, anyone that's dealing in the physical is Atlantean. And you all know what happened to Atlantis. The only thing that was left was Lemuria. Atlantis was sank completely in one night. That's your Devil's Night. Halloween is the celebration of the sinking. It's the memorial, commemorative of all those that died at Atlantis. And, of course, November 1st is All Saints' Day. And that falls right in the middle of, it's in the middle decan of Scorpio. Right? Scorpion King. King means. Yeah. Aha, right? So all of these things fit together. What's Halloween all about? It's about dressing up and, ghouls and goblins and witches and ghosts and all things dead of the night, And actually, it's kind of ironic because I always considered that, being trans, that was my new year. That was the first day of the year I didn't have to dress up. I got to just wear what I would normally wear.
Mirror for you.
Exactly. Oh, look, I got one day a year I can actually be and not be terrified.
Really looking forward to Halloween. Yeah.
You know, so for me, every day is Halloween. In that regard, it's like, and I've talked about that before. I could walk outside bare ass naked or dressed, and I'm totally naked in my own truth, regardless.
Exactly.
You know. So it's again, the truth is both the easiest to stand in and the most difficult. The only thing that will make it difficult are the emotions of the ego fighting and pulling to say, no, I'm afraid, I'm a meat stick, I don't want to lose a meat stick. No, you're not going to. This is the thing. This is the one thing that the program just doesn't get. It can't compute. You know, immortality is immortality, right? What part of that aren't you getting, right?
That's a deep program, yeah. But it does
that
let go. Yeah.
You know, and take your breaths every time, the emotional reactions occur. Take your time with it. Why? You see, the ego's always in a blinding hurry. It wants everything now. It's like, how many times have you heard me talk about this is not a drive-through truth window? Right?
That's right.
This meal takes a little
etiquette.
time. Right.
Yeah.
Takes a little time to prepare. You're going to have to sit down through, all 9 courses. Right? 12, actually, if we're going to get real literal on it, in order to create that 13th warrior, the O-Phi-I-Q in the Divine Feminine instead of cuss. O-Cuss or O-Phi-U-Q-S. Equal and opposite, the healer and the not healer. And I tell you, those things that are terminal, that cannot be healed, well, I just let them die. Those are thoughts that, go ahead. Psychosis, you cannot heal psychosis. Gets to a point where there's just no healing that, and that's what we're dealing with those wanting to run this place, is a psychosis. So these are thoughts just better eliminated. Mm-hmm. Put a silver bullet in its head. And everything that everyone...
I did... Go ahead.
I was going to say, everything that everyone does that walks in the path of truth just adds more silver to that bullet. Mm-hmm. That's how critically important you all are.
Oh, yeah, I've been feeling that so strong, especially after listening last night and then the newspaper headlines. I was a definition and they were all talking about the ash and the Irish kilt, and it was just a trip. It was just so many things jumping out at me. So yeah, exactly what you've been saying is. Yeah.
Take your time, have a look at it, and redefine the headlines, and you'll see what's really going on. And when you redefine them, guess what you're doing? You're redefining your reality, and as we do this collectively, it redefines all our reality, because a beautiful reality is something that we all have the urge to go towards, yes?
Yes.
And that's what we're doing. You see, each one of us walks our individual paths completely alone. Only you can follow your path to truth. No one else, just you. So again, stay the course. Everything else outside of you is not your concern. The difference here at this table is we're all walking alone together.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
So we maintain our individuality, and that's our inspiration from the all, but at the same time we are bringing the all back into balance. So we're all walking together, experiencing our own different points of you in different points of me, where it's time to play. That's all. It's just
that's right.
It's amazing how quickly. Yeah, just like even standing in the coffee shop, chatting. It's amazing. Yeah, I'll talk to everybody, right? You know me.
Have fun.
You wouldn't believe how fast I can drop a kangaroo into somebody's head, and I've got a little smile going on the back of my head. Oh yeah, it's fun to watch, right? Especially the ones in there that know me. They know exactly what I'm doing. They're going, "Oh, good one." Oh yeah, that one dropped. Boing, 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 and it's like a broken record. It's going to keep going. Skip.
People walk out of there with their head on backwards, looking the other way, like, what the heck? Did something just happen?
Yeah, where the ego can't see it or experience it, the spirit hears it loud and clear.
Mm-hmm.
And then that little butterfly wants to get out of that little cocoon, and it wants to spread its wings, and the ego doesn't stand a chance.
perfect.
The ego is earthly. It's carnal. It's of this world. It's of the dead. It is a dead program. So let's build our DNA back to where it was. I mean, it got degraded a fair bit, but, you know, you hear everybody in the new cager movement saying, oh, you know, DNA, great activations. Yeah, there's your fucking savior again. Yeah, sure. Yeah, guess what? You got to be the one to do it. It's not coming magically, right?
Can't just listen to a sound. Oh, darn it.
Yeah. All I have to do is stand on my head, rotate 3 times, snap my fingers twice, and spit wooden nickels, and I'm going to be saved. Yes, indeed. Wow.
Click my heels together 3 times, and I'm good.
Yeah, a little bit more to it than that, but it really is that simple. And the twinkling of an eye is going to be that, a twinkling of an eye, and it will be as if none of it ever existed. It will be as the ending of Fringe. You know, the last scene, everything that ever happened was completely removed, out of memory, gone, bye-bye, and it was the perfect bliss of the...
Yeah, I haven't seen the last one of it. I've seen all the other ones, but not the last season.
Yeah, well, the culmination of it. And again, it goes back to the original domino that the whole series, as far as I'm concerned, was based around. It was the one moment where one of the interlopers, September, what are the odds? 9/11. Anyway, September, one of the future heartless ones, was an observer, came in, wanted to watch a important time in human history, and ended up making a sound that distracted the doctor from his experiments, where he missed the cure, and that started the whole thing rolling. That was the domino, the pivot point that whole series was based on. Right? And you're dealing with 2 alternate universes, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere.
Yep, exactly.
And what happens when you bring them together? Well, you get the best of both worlds. It's where they're finally working together. It's where you calm Cain down enough. He's not out to kill his sister every time she shows up, you know. Nice guy.
Yeah.
Nice guy. You know.
Really sweet.
Okay, Judas, I get it. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's really, yeah, it's what it boils down to. You know, these are the things that we're going to, and we're eliminating these things. And the more you stand in truth, the more you walk in truth, by your actions you are known. No, these documents of mine are not, get out of jail free cards. You'll find those in the Monopoly board. This is a spiritual game. And I get to converse with people that get what I'm talking about, and they see the power of their spiritual nature, not at that time realizing it, but as soon as they're telling me these things, I know exactly what happened there. That's the impeccability of your choice to stand in that truth, and that's what puts the shields up. You know, just because these words are there doesn't mean that, oh, great, I've got the get out of jail free card, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to get away with it. No, you're not. That's not what truth is about. Truth is about standing in it. We'll clean up the shit, then we'll play. We've got to clean up the sandbox here, boys and girls. It's a hell of a mess. And we're doing a good job cleaning it, I know. I'm watching it.
Yeah.
But look, hey, Janet, a little bit more from you on what you were talking about. You understand what I'm saying when you start redefining things through Phoenician. You start seeing the hidden intent that is there that people in the literal world will miss completely if they take it literally.
Oh,
and it creates the opposite.
Not that long ago, I would have totally missed so many things that are just like jumping out of me, like in color bright. So I'm like, wow, I never, because it's just like that. Prayer, that was been sitting there probably lots of times that I just never just walked on by it. But then since the Coptic key and the 8-pointed stars, and that just jumped right out. And then, I just know that what it means is, being benevolent and owning your power, but you want to make sure that you cause no harm, It's like the ultimate thing, so.
That's got to be the heart's intent. I mean, you see, for me, in terms of intent, is accepting all things. For me, the game is already set, already decided. I am just merely in the cab, letting the driver consciousness, the higher self, do all the driving. I accept all things.
Right.
My choice was to stand in truth, and it only makes sense to me that I'm going to be exactly where I'm supposed to be to deliver that in the most effective manner for those willing to hear it. And those that aren't willing to hear it, well, they won't. But the good news is we don't need a lot to hear this to get it. You know? Really, my feeling is, it's, you know, you talk about the 144,000. Well, no, it's 12 times 12 is 144. I figure it's, you know, 12. I need to do a bit more background on this, but someone had contacted me the other day and had mentioned requires 12 sperm to inseminate an egg. It totally makes sense to me.
Oh, yeah, that does make sense.
Well, yeah, you know, 12 salts, 12 whatever. And that's the other thing, too, with regards to the salts. Dean had sent me an email. I wish I could get the damn Outlook open. Let me see if it'll work this time. But he had mentioned that regarding the salts that are blocking our neurons in the mind, right? I was talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. Well, they're both equal and opposite. You have Go, that's the hex of creation, Mara, which is East Indian for Satan. So there's Go, Mara, Gomorrah, right? You know, tomorrow never comes. Yeah, Mora. Yeah, isn't that interesting? And then look at and look at Sodom, which is Sodom, which is so silence, so the mute, right? So they're both equal and opposite. And what happened to Rachel when she turned around? She was told not to look back, and that's what happens when you look back at the carnal and want to go back into Babylon. The same story was told in Greek mythology. I forget the character. It might have been Iliad or whatever. He went down to, I'll have to look up the story again. Just so many characters, but they're all telling the same story, so I mix and match now. But he went down to Hades, and because his playing was so beautiful, he had convinced Hades to let, I think it was Persephone, go. Per se, phonics, phone, right? But he was warned, climb the ladder. She will be there behind you faithfully. Do not look back. And just as he was getting to the top, he doubted, and he looked back, and she fell. And that's what happens when you know the truth, yet your fear makes you doubt it, and then it'll fall back. That's that shield. Do not doubt the truth. How much more do I have to do individually, in my experience, and express it on the air every single night for people to get this? How much more do I need to do? How much more do I need to experience that absolutely plays out everything that I talk about? By my actions, I am known.
It's perfectly clear. That is so crystal clear.
Well, then you probably understand why. Why are you asking me legal questions, guys?
Right, that's just so old. It's like that stuff is just so boring and.
Yawn. Yawn. That is like so.
About anything about any of that stuff.
That is like talking on, like so King James, right?
Like my head goes numb. Are you serious?
Yeah, they call them numbers for a reason. You might say numbers, right? What was the one thing that was posted? Whoever put the letter B in subtle was one clever bastard was a cartoon that was on my Facebook yesterday.
I saw that.
Okay, well, did you see what I wrote? What I wrote here, I'll tell you why the B is in subtle. Because one, it's silent, so it's not being heard, means it's kind of a magnetic intent, right? There's that Christ consciousness. And now put B sound in there, what have you got? Sub-tell. And what are you doing when you're being subtle? You're trying to tell somebody without being direct. You're kind of putting it in under the radar. It's a subtle reminder. Just a subtle reminder. Yeah. So, of course, that proves the word as to why it means what it means. And it plays out on all levels. This is what phonics does. When you start messing with all the rules that you got programmed with, reverse them and have a look at it with different ears. And you will see it quite differently. Looks like we have Brandon in here, so I'm going to get him into the call. Just went to check my email and closed the board for a sec. But hey, how are you doing?
Hey, Brandon.
How am I, Kate? I'm doing all right.
Well, I don't know. You haven't talked much yet, so I'll tell you in a sec.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say it was Orpheus was the person I think you were looking Orpheus Persephone.
Yeah, Orpheus. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
you got it.
So just having fun listening on and Saturday night. So let's get this going, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, I kind of had my bitch rant last night, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to keep it interesting, you know? You'll never know.
I want to say.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, something that you, movie that you, speaking of movies and Fringe and everything, movie you'd really enjoy, it's called Tin Man. It's an updated Wizard of Oz story. Absolutely amazing. It's on Netflix now. It's with Zoe Deschanel and Alan Cummings, who is pretty famous gay actor, and who else? A few other people, very notable, but the Cowardly Lion, name is Ra. You know, he's you'll find it amazing. I mean, it's everything we talk about here. Any listener, you know, it's on Netflix now. Check it out if you have that. If not,
will do. Tin Man sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, there's your name, Brandon. Brain Dawn, which is putting your brain on. You see? Or your brain dawn or brain done, right? See, there's your mirror.
There's different, yeah, right. Or like you said, I think the other night, brain dead, right?
Yeah, branded, brain dead.
Brain dead, right? So I can, you know, if you see the positive and negative of your name, I can see the 13th Warrior and then Ra, right?
Oh yeah, I've went through all the letters, and people should be able to actually look at their name and see the power of why that whole thing with the Narmer palette is so tenfold at grabbing that, because it's literally grabbing your God power, your T power, right?
Yep.
Do you remember those? What were they called? Back in the 70s, they had a T stick. I think they were T cars or something. Anyway, you pull this stick and they went like a bat out of hell. Forget what they were called. I'll have to look it up. It was it's funny. Just as soon as I said that, I got the visual of this dragster, and it made marks and everything. It was pretty fun.
Sounds like it.
Oh yeah, I love playing with everything. It didn't matter to me. It was fun. Everything was fun for me. It was great. I got to tell you, it was a great childhood. I didn't care what I played with. It's like, oh, that looks like fun for a while. Well, I'll go play with that. I'll go play with that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Used to love doing models. You know, and of course reading. I was kind of a weird kid that way. I mean, I'd ride down to the library on Saturdays and go hang out in the adult section, the history section of the librray at 8, 9 years old. That was,
wow. You wouldn't have found me anywhere near there.
I wasn't in too big of a hurry, huh?
Not at all. You can't notice it now either.
Yeah, I know. I look back at it and it's like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. Talk about getting the hell out of here. You know?
I gotta figure this stuff out.
Fucking just got here and I'm like, okay, let's get to work.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, I'm done. I'm out of diaper phase. All right.
Burning daylight.
Yeah, give me a book on the Napoleonic era, quick.
Yeah,
funny.
that's great.
Too funny. Yeah, it looks like my out's not working tonight. So let me see. Oh, hey, maybe I got it. Unbelievable. Let me see. Yeah, Merkava. This was a post by D, or an email, and where was it? Yeah, this is from Merkaba, from Wikipedia, no less. And it's just a little snip of it. Merkaba, or Merkava, mysticism, or, remember I talked last night, the last card, the final outcome was the chariot? Well, it's also known as chariot, mysticism. And that's the Kia Ro I in creation and the law of truth. Carry it. Yeah, the key. It's all there. It's just like sickeningly right there in your face when you can see it. Or chariot mysticism is a school of early Jewish mysticism. Well, let's make that more accurate. Let's call it early Hebrides mysticism. Like I'll tell you right now, I'm inserting, anytime I see Jewish, I'm inserting Hyksos because of the corruption, right? Again, right. Judaism, all it is transplanted Egyptian rituals from Akhenaten.
Hebrew, from the Celtic even. No, they already
Well, again, going back to Mike Tessarian's work, and for me, it's not about, well, I'm Irish, so look at this. It's about where is the fucking truth? Where is the truth? And, I'm looking at
where the root goes to, yeah.
So, you find your purpose in life, and everyone has this within your own game. You will find look for the quad in your reality. Look for the heart of Gaia that you have started with. It's right there. You'll see it. You will see it. And then look at the one piece that's been occluded. And you will see the same thing I see with Ireland, and Ulster being the occluded chamber of the heart. You will see this as your reality from your game. It doesn't matter where on this planet you came from. It's there. Mine was just blindingly obvious.
Yeah.
Like, a whole fucking island.
Yeah.
Right? So, again,
you went, and both from Belfast. And he released a newsletter today. And if you're on his email list. Yep.
Oh,
and
we're both in the same hometown.
Yeah, Belfast. So he released 2 new videos on the Path of the Fool. He takes the Fool cards from the top deck and the Rider-Waite deck and just threw it.
Mike Davino just sent that link on my Facebook and sent it to me in a message, so I will be looking at that after the show tonight. Again, the Tarot comes out of, Tara, and that's Newstead, right? The Tarot comes out of, or the Torah comes out of Ireland. And it's all been corrupted. So let me continue on here about this Hyksos mysticism, or they call it Jewish. Circa 100 BCE to 1000 CE, entered on visions such as those found in the book of Ezekiel, or the wheel. Remember, we had the wheel of fortune turn up as the final outcome. Right? All of these things are tying together. Chapter 1, or the Heckalot, there's that Hek or Hyksos thing coming up. Palaces, literature concerning stories of ascents to the heavenly palaces and the throne of God. The main corpus of the Merkaba literature was composed in Israel in the period 200 to 700 CE. Bullshit. Although later references to the chariot tradition can also be found in the literature of Chassidel Ashkenaz. In the Middle Ages, a major text tradition is Maseh Merkaba, works of the chariot. The chariot, the whole concept of the chariot comes out of the Celts. Okay? It was the Egyptians that were riding around in chariots, and lo and behold, the Irish still have them. They're called jaunting cars. That's been traditional in Irish folklore forever, right? So you can see how history has been so corrupted. Now, the noun Merkaba, thing to ride in, or cart, remember, put the cart before the horse. We've been dragged behind this horse of Babylon for too long. So it's time to put Satan behind thee. Remember? Some guy, Jesus said that, the Greek guy? Yeah. Now, the noun Merkaba, thing to ride in, or cart, is derived from the consonantal root RKB, Rokaba, with the general meaning to ride. Yeah, well, what is the Merkaba? It is the as above triangle, so below triangle. It's the 3D version of what the Jews, or I won't say Jews, Judaism. I mean, that's the newest religion of them all. They call it the Star of David. Bullshit. I call it all bullshit.
Yeah, they just sold it. Yeah.
That's, again, this is about, well, hey, listen, I mean, the whole system is about stealing. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, everything involved from that system is all stolen. And it's subverted. It's dead. It's under law of truth, dead. Now, where was it? Again, the noun Merkaba, thing to ride in or cart, is derived from the consonantal root RKB, Rokaba, with the general meaning to ride. The word chariot is found 44 times in the Masoretic text of the Hebrew Bible, most of them referring to normal chariots on earth. And although the concept of Merkaba is associated with Ezekiel's vision, remember the wheel within a wheel, right? What was it? Oh, Narmer's palette. When you change the P to an R, you have Narmer's roulette. Roulette. Rush in roulettes. Rule-et. Rule divine feminine. Okay? And how does a roulette wheel work? Well, the wheel spins one way and the marble gets spun opposite. So the wheel within a wheel. Right? So there's your Ezekiel's wheel played out in the roulette wheel. It is everywhere. When you start seeing the fractals of things, you start seeing things as they are. It's like the whole Nibiru in the physical is the spiritual allegorical of bringing the truth home to the heart. And in the spiritual sense, only those that understand this survive. Those that don't, well, this planet's kind of been awash with a few of these things in the past, I think there's a little bit of a material record of that, don't you think?
Just a little. Right.
So, and again, back to Akhenaten, there was the golden age destroyed by a known psychotic. And Mike Tessarian did a beautiful job. Yeah, I'd like to actually find out whereabouts in Belfast he's from, because I'm kind of curious. I think we're around the same age. I'm in the body sense. I turned 50 this year. So I'm kind of curious.
You guys are. Yeah, you look. Yeah. It seems like it. You probably were neighbors. It sounds like it. You both are like boom, boom, remember stuff and just put it out there. Yeah.
Well, based on what he teaches, I'm pretty sure that in terms of being in Belfast, he was on, and it would make total sense that he would be on the green side or the Catholic side versus my being on the orange Protestant side. And here we are speaking the same language, right?
Yeah, I think his mother was from India.
Yeah, his mother was from India. Right, but I think he actually was on the orange side, even though.
Okay.
Because his father was a heavy Marxist and so on, but I at a very early age saw through all that and then moved to America.
He had an East Indian mother, so that makes total sense that he would have been given proper teachings and correlations. I mean, you go back to, I talked about this on January 21st every year, there was the turning of the seal in Ireland, right? I covered this a few weeks back. And dignitaries from India come to Ireland to witness that. And why is that?
And this was a sacred marriage. This was one of the one of the many sacred marriages that and his father was married. Yep. And I guess Tessarion is like a city or a little village or township in India. So there you go.
Yeah, so it all connects, So I'm really looking forward to seeing Michael's latest work. And I got a few comments back. People were paying attention with regards to exposing this, the New World Order in terms of selling the physical bliss, the Atlantean technologies, right? I mean, guys, honestly, and I talked about this a while back, here you have the Dalai Lama promoting this cyborg technology of the website. I think it was 45.com. Dalai Lama, what fucking part of spirituality did you miss? And you're supposed to be the all-high spiritual leader of Earth, and you're playing into the cyborg?
Yeah. Gotta watch it.
It's a cosmic joke right in your face.
Well, the doll eye, right? The idol. Lama. Well, Ma is that's the magnetic hex. The law of the magnetic hex. The Dalai Lama. Yeah.
That's interesting. I used to be really into it because at MIT here in Boston, they have a little. The Dalai Lama funded with millions of dollars. Not just him, but this Institute of Noetic Sciences, which is basically kind of studying this transhumanist sort of thing, but to tap into states of meditation where they can also, like, use for pharmaceutical means, to create the real soma of, say, Aldous Huxley's Brave New World and so on. I mean, this is the Dalai Lama at MIT is a book I have on that. There's a really strange kind of mingling going on with these Tibetan Buddhists and these transhumanist scientists that one wonders what the fruits of it's going to be. But
right on. So I was just going looking at a quick little email here, and start of Equinox in collaboration with 2y2d.org. So let me see. Just waiting for it. Here we go. Dear Kate, you know me, I share everything. So let's have a listen. What are we getting shared with today, boys and girls? This is for all of us. Dear Kati, the spirit of love. That would be you guys, the law of truth. All of us are aware that there is a war on human consciousness and that intentions move the universe. Hear, hear. We are contacting you as we feel that the moment has come to join forces and unite here on planet Earth. Each one of you makes a tremendous job in sharing your knowledge with the public in this information age. Knowledge is power, and we believe that your knowledge and the one of many others, see list below, should be shared worldwide. Therefore, we kindly ask you to participate. By searching your work on the internet, we observed that your tremendous work is only available in English. Actually, there are a few other languages, documents that have been translated, but yeah, it's mostly in English, Anglais or Angel, and would offer to share your wisdom also in Spanish and German. Please. The goal is to keep the written information of knowledge as short and simple as possible, coming directly to the point. Well, I think I kind of do that. Think to awaken consciousness via the vision. I'm a little blunt, actually, but anyway.
That's good. I love it.
we think to awaken consciousness via the vision, similar to the way the dark government tries to manipulate human consciousness. I've totally agreed. Again, we're using fire to fight fire, and therefore make more use of images, i.e. images of your presentation. The website uses hyperlinks to each topic, word, so the visitor will realize that everything is connected. Good. I like that idea. We'd like to dedicate a page with the topic of your knowledge and more if you are interested, and with it a free PDF file for download in 3 languages. People who have internet should be able to bring your wisdom to the people on the streets and create presentations or workshops. Absolutely. That's why I got to get my camera touched up and find me a whiteboard and just get busy. What do you think? That works.
I've been looking forward to that, yeah.
There are many people who, due to various reasons, are cut off of the magic tool internet or simply lost due to the vast information. Oh, yeah, it's a lot of conflicting information out there. Everyone's vying for attention, either through free energy or new money systems, Bitcoin, Opt, and all the rest of it. Yeah, lots of carrots out there for people to chew on. Totally agree there. If you have some productive ideas in regards of modifying the structure of the website or for your presentation, we will do so. I'd say that's pretty wide open for everyone to work together. I like that. Love, light, and unity. Finn. Finn, it's got to be Irish. P.S. We do also invite you to have a look at the proposal we have and look for a common strategy to bring heaven back to earth. So there's it's got Bud Barber, Sono Bonacci, Greg Braden, good, Flavio Cabianco, Carl Kalaman, Bill Donahue, Wayne Dyer, Masaru Emoto, Graham Hancock, Nassim Harriman, Max Egan, Michio Kaku. Well, I'm not so sure on that one, but okay. Suzanne Lai. What's that?
Michio Kaku? He's okay.
Oh, okay. I haven't followed much on him lately. It's just a lot of mainstream stuff. Drunvalo Melchizedek, Renee May, Dagmar Nubroner, Kate of Gaia, Michael Sartorius, Michael Tellinger, and Michael Tessarian. Mark Passio, I would suggest, Robert Otte, Matt Presti, Sivan Bomer, Tobias Lars. You know my list, right? So again, for the point of awakening all, my intention is only there. So whether I'm part of a collective, I will always remain completely independent, without any sort of spiritual contracts with anyone or anything. So what I share will never, I made this promise to myself, I will never be tainted by another. Ever. And
shall not yield.
I will not yield, not a chance.
Will not yield, no.
You know, it's kind of why I'm here, you know, and I know many of you feel the same way. You know why you're here. You didn't come here to play with a, play in the sand with a bucket and spade. You're here to change a universe. You know. So, and guys, I cannot say how grateful I am just knowing that this table is here with so many equal, beautifully creative minds and hearts sitting at this table together. Do you realize the power you wield just with this? You know?
Oh yeah, you feel it.
Well, I'm actually gonna do another little call out, but I'm gonna play a song. I'm gonna play my signature song, and I want you guys to listen to it as you are the one singing it, as you are the one that wrote it, as you are the one in it and playing it and being it. And this is, have a look at it from your point of you as me, as Magnetic Electric, because I am just another point of you. So this is yours. So have a listen to it, and then I'll do a shout out after we get back from the song, and listen to your heart on this.
Beautiful.
I've never seen before my eyes this dream. I've never known what makes this child to see. Like tears from a mountain pouring gently to the sea, a curiosity, will you dare to touch my soul? Is love so frail that we can't hope to be more than we are, more than our hearts can see? And if for any reason on this field of broken dreams we stand to lose it all, then for you, yes, I do it willingly. If this is our moment, captured in time, always to sustain, for lost in your eyes I find are the only means to remain. Searching relentlessly, just like a cloud, she chases the rain. We'll stand here firm, 'cause we are an island protected by love on this field of broken dreams. It's never clear, this path of destiny. That's why we're here, to find our need to be. Elusive as a rainbow, we can try to steal her gold, but she'll give it willingly. Will you dare to ask her though? We'll find a way, we must believe in us. There'll come a day we'll soar, and when it does, the sky will have no boundaries. I will challenge every sea. I will never lose this dream, 'cause for you, Yes, I do it willingly. If this is our moment, captured in time, always to sustain. Though lost in your eyes, I find are the only means to remain. Searching relentlessly, just like a cloud, she chases the rain. We'll stand here firm, 'cause we are an island protected by love, on this field of broken dreams. On this field of broken dreams.
There you go. So, for those that want to call in, I won't be rolling over tonight. I'm going to stay a little focused on some quiet time, as I cherish it so much. Now look at the word believe. Find our need to be, right? That's find our bowing to the Christ consciousness, our on knees to be the 13th warrior, right? Look at the word believe, which means be the calm of truth, or I don't be the calm of truth. And that's what Pisces, the pieces, was all about for me. So for those that want to jump in, we've still got 26 minutes here. 661-467-2401. As always, it's right there on the Blog Talk page as well. And if you want to Skype in, just hit the Skype button beside that number. If it's not there, refresh the page, it will be. And, of course, once on the board, just hit 1 on your dial pad on the phone, or open the dial pad on Skype and hit 1 there. And great big thank you to all of you guys, and, of course, Paul Giovanni, Ninja, and the rest of the crew at criticalmassradio.co.uk for this table, of which I could not be more grateful. What a place to come to the table and really and quite literally bare your soul for all. And the blessing of being able to share my path in this format is beyond comprehension of words. It is strictly and solely an intuitive, pure, blissful thing. And I can't be more grateful. Really.
You do it willingly. That's so beautiful, Kate. Thank you.
Well,
that was beautiful.
Well, again, this is the whole thing of letting go, huh?
Yeah.
Mirror, mirror. You bunch of tease you. You're all just trying to tease everybody, right? Oh, too funny. Yeah. Having that whinny neigh. That nagging thought in the back of your mind saying, "Wake up!"
I hear you. I hear you, nag. I am. Quit nagging me.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess it's just us three tonight, guys, because nobody else wants to seem to jump in here. And guys, I'd love to hear from everybody. I really would. So. And is Mike in tonight? I just want to find out if Mike's tonight. Get him talking about his show.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
got a show
beautiful.
now?
Yeah, he's. I'm not sure if he's running it tomorrow, but it runs from 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Standard Time, and I think he's going to be doing 3 days a week. So it's.
Oh, good. For tomorrow?
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So looks like we have.
I'll listen.
Exactly, and there's Richie jumping in.
Oh, nice. Hi, Richie.
Oh, hi. Am I there?
Yeah, you're there. How are you?
Muted. All right. It's not mutiny. Hey. Yeah. Who was that lady that posted that thing for you that you just read? That was because all those people resonate with me. The only one that doesn't, Wayne Dyer. I think his path has gone rogue. Yeah.
Well, again, yeah. See, like a lot of the people on there, I'm vaguely familiar with. This is one of the reasons why, in my stand, I will stand completely alone in the collective, where what I share, my truth, that is only truth, will not be tainted or infringed upon by any spiritual contracts with any other. I Susan Storm, baby, I've got the shield and the invisibility up, and it is impenetrable, and I will not yield.
Well, that's my spiritual contract, and I'm just guessing. I would have to talk with them, but it's truth. That's my spiritual. It's truth, benevolence, and whatever force that's going to come up against, is that it's useless basically because force cannot trump power, and we have been trying to be force against force. Where the true core, the true heart of you is pure, absolute, infinite power. Why would you need a teleporter when you are one? You create all of this. See, that's the illusion. Imagine that, a god falling for trinkets. Unbelievable. It is so mind-blowing, and I look back over things and I go, wow, what a doofus, what a dope, but it's all part of the contrast. You have never made a single mistake. What you've given yourself is just enough contrast to see the truth. Isn't that cool? That's all it is. You can't make mistakes. You can't do anything wrong. That is the illusion. What you're getting is that mirrored contrast of just enough pushing you the other way to see the balance of the pendulum, right? And right in the middle, you will always find the truth. Right in the mean that has been, that carcass, that rotting carcass in Northern Ireland, King Means. I wonder. Yeah. Well, you see, all I ever have to do is become aware of it and realize it, and then I dispel it. Okay, that rotting carcass is nothing but a rotting carcass, and it's gone. Yeah. What I know that what he was doing, that Spike, he's trying to release something out of that person's head. That person might have represented I don't know what it represented, but that's what I know that he was doing. He's trying to release something out of that guy's head. That's why, and I don't think he ended up in Ireland by chance. And if you see, I work with numbers too. I'm connecting all these numbers to the alphabet. This is the stuff that I'm seeing. And if you spell out Namer, add the numbers up, they literally come to 33 and 69. I think the benevolence, the hidden hand that's at work. See, this is what I'm coming to realize at this point in the game, and this is what I think we're all. The benevolent ones will see it. That's why I know you'll see it. Is that this hidden hand represents definitely the what's at work is this 33-degree, the real truth behind it, because it all represents the feminine.
Well, 33 is the lower third. That is the Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Scorpio aspect. Okay, that's the as below. And the upper 2/3. What in order to get to heaven, you've got to climb through all of these stages and get past them. Again, it's losing the concept of belief, which has doubt, and also now here's another intent contained: be the calm of truth or be not the calm of truth. Right? I believe, I don't believe. Now we move up into I know or I don't know. I NO or KNOW. Right? And of course the Capricorn, the rebirth, that's the knees, right? Finding your need to be, kneeing to the Christ consciousness. And then, of course, creation comes between Sagittarius and Scorpio, and that's Uranus. Imagine that. And once you climb above that, you're above the 33rd degree, right? So you're now in the upper echelons, the upper 2/3, right? And that's not to make less of those signs. It's not. These are just codes. That's all they are. And every one of them is critically important.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You don't know heaven without hell, and that's been this game of contrast. And certainly not going to be bored with bliss anymore. I'll say that much.
Right. And that's what I think we're doing on a it's becoming a more we're becoming more consciously aware of it, right? Because that 33, there's 33 vertebrae in our spine, and like we say, climbing Jacob's ladder, going up that spiral. This is what we're coming to real. This is the knowledge that was lost that we are on a huge scale bringing back into the sleepy, the sleepy ones, which. And it's just because everything that I'm seeing, I'm adding up, and it started really with when we started talking about the G, thing, and I don't see it. See, this is the thing, is that's why, I don't see it as like a hex. It is. See, this is the paradox with this letter, is that if it's within the ones that are still sleepy, they'll be fooled. I'm seeing this as it's beautifully unfolding, the way that everything is adding up. Because I'm using, like I said, numbers along with the alphabet, and it's a perfectly friggin' constructed piece that's inevitably causing, I think, this awakening.
Well, here, one of the things, try this for a while, Richie. Correlate everything you're doing back to the zodiac. Back to the 12 disciplines, and again,
connected.
Well, see, and this is one of the things you find a lot of teachers will stay focused in one, maybe two areas. Me, I look at it all, and I bring it. For me, it has to all come together. So this is one of the and in order to see it from a grander perspective of all the connections, I can connect music with math, with the zodiac, with religion, in terms of the way it was taught, and the truths and the histories and the languages, all of it. It all connects. So, what I would ask people to do is get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Like, get good at what you're good at, and then start pulling in other points of it. For me, the biggest key of all was the music scale. And it had to be, right? It had to be music. And that's the 7 notes, the 7 chakras. And, of course, Fa being the heart, and that's what exposed the mirror, that the Fa is the divine feminine, and the M-O from mother is the intent, the electric. It's the masculine, right? So it's mirrored backwards. No one gets to the Father but through me, and no one gets to the mother, modus operandi, but through the Father. So this whole construct of male and female sex thing, that's pure physical Scorpio, and everyone gets trapped. And I won't say everyone. A lot of people get trapped in that notion. They can't get past the physical because we've been so indoctrinated for so long in it. I only see energies and how they correlate. I went through the H and the A and what that represented in the zodiac, from the male female in terms of sex, where the energies are, and it totally made sense. It totally made sense.
Yeah, it makes sense with me too. Yeah, 100%. It's nailed right there, and that's why, like, the things that I hear, because I've watched that Dronvel Melchizedek. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But he talked about. Yeah, he's really good, and he talked about these beams being out of order within, and I forget the group of people that he referred to. It might have been the Mayans, and Nassim Haramein, Greg Braden, all those guys. It just seems, that it was drawn to them or brought to them, and
they bring critical pieces. They really do. They bring critical pieces, and each one of them, and you can see their work. They're very much specialized in their one or two fields, and those in and of themselves are boxes, and it will keep people trapped intellectually. You got to get a lot of creative. There's no question there. Again, this is an observation, just simply of what is being, and again, I try to look at other things from the perspective, what can I do different than what everyone else is doing? So
absolutely, Kate. And that's why this rabbit hole of this is like where I have wound up. I'm right here, right now, and it's not by coincidence. You know?
No. See, we're all at this table for the same reason. I mean, we've all been searching on our own paths for that higher purpose, that higher meaning, and collectively we come to this table. And we share these things. It's like that's what this table's for. It's like, okay, dump the bag on the table and let's pick through all the shit for the gems. And we find them. We get them every night.
Right.
And every night, I know that not only myself but everyone is got to be getting at least one aha moment, something that's connecting for them. Right. That's what brings us to this table, because it's you're eating the food of creation. Getting your creation back. And to turn it full circle on this whole responsibility, you're not going to get the ability to give life, responsibility, until you stand in truth. There is no turning your back on it ever. As hard and as gut-wrenching as it is, and I got to tell you, I push through this every single day.
Yep. I know, I hear you.
You know? It's like, look, prime example, Friday night. What would you, I'll ask this of everyone, you know, given what I did, what would someone else do? You know? And especially given the profile that this system has of me. I mean, I haven't been shy getting the word out to everyone. I don't care who they are. They're all, as far as I'm concerned, werewolves and vampires. And that's from London, the Vatican, Washington, D.C., direct to the president and all the rest, prime ministers, chiefs, everybody, right across the board. That's why I laugh when someone says, "You don't know who I am?" Yeah, you're full of shit. I know you're lying. Because I've been on too many intel reports, and I've seen them. You know, I have sources. I have seen these intel reports where I'm not named, but God darn, that's exactly what I just went through. Isn't that funny how they're talking about that, and they're giving all their cops a heads up that, you know, of course, I love this. Free men are dangerous. Yeah, no, truth's dangerous. You know, that's what they're afraid of. Their little game and their little gig is up, and they know the time is here. They're done, and they know it, and it's being manifested in so many ways.
Yeah, no. Well, if it didn't work, I would have just asked them every question. Like I did, just asked them every question. They asked me, "What's your name?" And I just said, "What's your name? Got a license? You got a license?" And just went there.
I don't even get into that, because that to me is getting. It's quite simply this. No, not in your jurisdiction.
I'm just playing, though.
No, I know, Richie, I know. I just like to make it,
and
you know. Email said keep it simple, right?
Yeah, you did it perfect. You just
not in your jurisdiction. Have a nice day.
Right.
Go talk to someone that's in your jurisdiction. I don't deal with the dead. You go play with zombies. I'm in the living here. Thank you. Bye-bye.
No. Yeah. You know, so that's what it is, and that's all I'm gonna express. Besides what it is we're doing here, is I'm not gonna try, attempt, fight, or anything. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, I know who I am. I know this truth, and if I don't stand in it, I defy it. And I'm completely, you know, confident. I will travel, you know, without the interference of any fake, invented law, right? Because we talked about this. Civil law doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. It's fantasy, you know, and if people want to live in that fantasy, and they know this, so...
Well, it's all man-made, right? It's a man-made structure, a construct designed to mimic natural law. And to the degree that people agree with it is the force of natural law that gets placed upon them. Knowledge...
Yeah, I work for Nisha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's happened. And that's what natural law... That's why this whole and it's not that it's a conspiracy. It's this underground thing. And see, this is what I see is that's what's being put back into order, and it's inevitable because it's a language that the frequencies that we're using, and it's the whatchamacallit, and I'm not going to get into it at any length, and I see it just as a universal truth being restored to the world, you know. But the founding fathers they were hermetics, you know. And Santos talks about hermetics. I'm sure you've talked about hermetics, and they understood the concept of the goddess, the feminine, the female, and it's everywhere, you know.
Again, I'm going to go back to the founding fathers, in that they may have been hermetic at that time, but again, you're still dealing with the same constructs. Now, you'd have to find the intent, and based on the actions of the individuals, the intent wasn't quite pure, now was it? You know, so.
Well, what I see though is all the countries. It's just not them. I know that they're located in Ireland. They're located in Canada. They're located. Is that this and it's us too. It's located in us. You see, I think the greatest hidden secret is that it's so hidden that it's within people that no one's even most likely going to be recognized and seen.
Yeah, who the hell's going to listen to a mouthy tranny on the air? Really?
Right. That's what it is, and we acknowledge that and say this is we will, with our consciousness and rolling in the red carpet for the real truth to walk its path, and that's exactly what it is we're doing, and it's just an inevitable thing, you know. I can see it, I know it, I feel it. Is that all these particular high quality empires are falling. They're collapsing. All of them. China, Russia, the Queen, the friggin'
all
Rome.
of it. It's all coming down. Listen, we got about 6 minutes left here. I just having a look at Michael Tessarian's last name. Here's the equal and opposite. You can walk the path of the Tsar Ion, which is of the oligarch, or you can walk the path of the TS, now I'm going to say it, let's go for energy, I'm going to show you what it means. Transsexual, TS, right? Transgenders notice these things. So transsexual, which is the complete transfer from one to the other. But what does it mean? Trans, say, key, you, all, which is a cross creation, the key of intent for all. And you have Ari, which is the high priest. There's the Aryan, and On, which is the ancient goddess, Anna, A-N, like that's what On means, right? So what you have there is a beautiful, and yeah, he's walking that name, and again, it's shown in the name of what path they're walking by, the effects they're creating, and he's bringing a lot of very powerful stuff to the table. And for me, my little niche is in taking it and decoding it from a phonics or a sound perspective. So, well, what a beautiful name to go across creation with the key of the high priest of the goddess. Yeah, I'd say he's doing a pretty good job at turning that key, unlocking lots and lots of doors. So it's always in the name. It is always in the name. That's why this game has been about name, na, me. And there's Na, which is the mirror of On. So it is the opposite. So it's the anti-god of the magnetic electric. Name. Not or literal, not applicable magnetic electric. Not applicable creation. Right? So how many more ways do I need to take a four-letter word and show you ultimate meanings? It is that simple.
Right. Wait till you see school.
You know? Well, I got about 3.5 minutes left here, guys, so...
Much love. I got to go head over to Mark Passio's radio show starting about 10 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. We're good timing then. Where is he on tonight? He does his own, right?
Yeah, he's back on the air. Republic, I think it's called Republic Broadcasting Network. But if you just go to what's happening and click on the radio show button to the left, you can listen right there. And I'm going to go there and be on that. So, got to go, guys. Much love. Love you all.
All right.
Love you.
Bye.
Right back at you, my friend. Much love.
Who was that, Michael?
No, Mark Passio.
Mark Passio, yeah. I've listened to some of them, yeah. Michael Tessat, when he mentioned them, and yeah, they got a lot of, they've done a lot of work, Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, Mark's coming on with us. A key date, by the way, very relevant to me. He said, let's go for Wednesday, April 23rd, 7 Eastern. So Mark's going to be sitting at the table with us on April 23rd, and I have a funny feeling it's going to be talking about all of the celebrations of the entire system down and the new paradigm that we are shifting into, that we're creating. You're creating this, guys, and you need to know this. This is your creation, so I'm looking forward to it. I got a couple of things that I want to check out tonight, and try. Me call. Well, that's me key AE, which is mirrored. That's the 6 and the 9 mirrored. L in intent, right? So Michael Tessarian, it's again the names will give it away every single time. So have a look at the phonics contained within your name, and you will see it. It's clear as a bell. So change the consonants, change the vowels, move around, and you'll find that which resonates with you. Because if those letters can create that sound, then they can create that intent. So look for the hidden intent that's contained within your name, and you will understand the power that you wield. But remember, this is a game of responsibility. Do not think
and
that
you know what?
something...
No, go ahead, Kate.
Yeah, I just wanted to... we're on that here, so I just wanted to finish. And by all means, actually jump in there, Richie. I lost my train of thought.
What I wanted to say is that essence, that energy, that truth is rising up into you. Because I look at things completely at a neutral state, neither right nor wrong. And when it waves into that, and that's why what I see with you with that G, I think what you discovered, what I know you discovered, was that's it's like a missing link within that. And what you did is you were able to convert that into seeing this whole thing in a new way, because it shifted my perception into seeing the things that I'm seeing. I think it's a hex. If you know what I'm saying, if you're not able to uncover, to discover what it is, different words that you can put, like chem, the CH, turning that into the K, and those letters add up. If you add up C and H, it equals 11, right?
Yeah,
that's the K. That's what's beautiful about it, is I think you discovered something that when you see that, you're able to undo the hex. But if you're not seeing it in that sense, that's why I see the alphabet as being perfect. And there's a lot of different things too, Kate, that I've seen and written and have down that in time, we'll play around with it, and as we continue this momentum, which is unfolding, So.
Well, again, and we rolled into the recording here, so I'm just gonna roll off real quick. Again, it's about standing in the truth, and if it does not feel comfortable, that's what you need to push through, and you've got to let go of it. So on that note, I'm going to sign off, and we'll catch you guys same time, same place tomorrow night, and much love to everybody, and thanks again for being here. As always.
Much love. Take
care, guys.
Bye, Janet.
Have some fun, and now go out and get all responsible and everything, okay? Love you guys.
All right. Oh, yeah. I think we'll get real serious.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Free will choice of someone by their choice taking themselves out. And that's, to me, these are but thoughts that are being eradicated from the human consciousness right now. As more and more people, countless more every day, come to this realization of something's not quite right in Kansas, Toto. No, because you're in Oz, Dopey. That's kind of the joke. And many of you are seeing Oz as it is, and you're seeing the magic, and that childlike wonderment is going to return, and that calm and that peace within yourself is returning as well, and it's quite something. That's, if I could wish something for anyone, that would be to find that peace, But getting back to the Red Hand of Ulster, it's an interesting history. I remember my dad. I'll tell you the story that I was told regarding the Red Hand of Ulster. It involved two sons of a king of the O'Neill clan. And the one brother was big and strong, and the other one was, weak and sickly, but far more intelligent, right? So it was a beautiful allegory again of this whole, might makes right bullshit versus the compassionate peaceful. Anyway, it was decided that they would have a race in boats where they would row to shore from a set distance, and whoever touched the shore of Ulster first became its king. And of course, the bigger brother, the warmonger, he was outpacing his I believe younger brother to the point where he was almost ashore, and the younger brother stood in his boat and cut off his right hand and threw it ashore. Again, the rules were very simple. Say what you mean what you say. It was the first one to touch the shore, and that was his flesh that touched first. And he sacrificed his right hand in order to do that. So that was the story that was handed down to me from my dad and my grandfather. So never really looked into it much beyond that. I mean, I think it's actually quite hilarious. But you ask anyone that's of that stripe, I mean, I'm talking about my own here if you want to put it in context, right? Idiots. Do they have any idea what they're doing? Sorry, you cannot claim to be Irish. If that's the flag you wave, and I watched family and friends and everybody, Red Hand of Ulster and the Union Jack and the rest of the shit that goes along with it, right? And it always befuddled me. Let's just say when I was 11, got to witness something that, children just shouldn't see in terms of violence and destruction, whatever. It was that was the day I grew up, and every sense of childhood innocence went up in the same way the pub went up with the bomb that was in it that killed 2 people. And my sister and my dad and I, we were there. Actually, we got there before the emergency vehicles because the bomb, it was about a minute away from where we were living at the time at Mount Vernon House. And it was, I just couldn't figure it out. I looked at it, and it was that surreal moment of time standing still, and it was just, I can't, to this day, I cannot put it into words, but I'll tell you, it was a very profound awakening. That pretty much, that was the wake-up call to set me on this path in particular of trying to figure out, why do people kill each other? And, well, I'll tell you why, because someone has you convinced that you should, because that's not our natural tendency. We are creators of life. And the aberration that wants to take life and control life is the evil that is, hereby destroyed. They're just bad thoughts to me. Those wishing harm on another, well, that which you wish upon another, you've wished upon yourself. So I gotta tell you, if you're wishing destruction on something or someone, that's the mirror. I don't wish destruction on anything, but I certainly will not trespass. In some versions, the left hand is used and/or the thumb is opened. So the mythical origins. Now, when you understand the real meaning behind the red hand and what it truly represents to the true Irish, the true Celts, you'll understand why it's so oxymoronic to have that flying with a British crown over top of it. It's just retarded. Anyway, it is generally accepted that this Irish Gaelic symbol originated in pagan times, and was first associated with the mythical figure Labréad Lam Dearg, or Labréad Lam Dearg, Labréad of the Red Hand. According to one myth, the kingdom of Ulster had at one time no rightful heir. Because of this, it was agreed that a boat race should take place, and that whosoever's hand is the first to touch the shore of Ireland, so shall he be made the king. One potential king so desired the kingship that, upon seeing that he was losing the race, he cut off his hand and threw it to the shore, thus winning the kingship. The hand is most likely red to represent the fact that it would have been covered in blood. while allegorical red is all about emotions. Okay, I'll get into that a bit later. According to some versions of the story, the king who cut off his hand belonged to the O'Neill clan, which apparently explains its association with them. Another variation of this story concludes that it was none other than Niall of the 9 hostages who severed his own hand in order to win his crown from his brother. Interesting. Neil, there's that Neil again, the Capricorn, right? These are not coincidences. It's all in the sounds. And of course, the 9 hostages, host ages, or the Ho stakes. A different myth tells of 2 giants who engaged in battle. Well, again, this is the allegory of the physical and the spiritual, the 2 giants, the 2-headed giant and Jack the Giant Slayer, right? That's the emotions and the ego versus the purity of spirit, the compassion. So anyway, a different myth tells of 2 giants who engaged in battle. One had his hand cut off by the other, and a red imprint of the hand was left on the rocks. Now, the usage, here's where it gets interesting. The red hand symbol is believed.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
And good evening, welcome to Outside the Box here on criticalmassradio.co.uk. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, casting from an undisclosed location somewhere in the universe. See, I am everywhere. Anyway, where do I want to go tonight? Well, I wanted to touch on a couple other things last night that I didn't get to, so I'm going to touch on it tonight because it's still open on my browser, and that's kind of where I like to go. For those that don't know, I am originally from Ireland. That's where my game piece showed up at the start of this game path. And they call it Northern Ireland, Ulster to be more precise, Belfast. And I with that, you can call it a vision I had last week, a week ago today. The character that I first met, quite an interesting being, just beyond beautiful, but his left ear was a little red hand, right? So that kind of led me to do the tie-in for Ulster, because the quote flag unquote of Ulster is a English cross, just like England. It's the red cross on the white background, but in the center it has a red hand, typically a right hand, with the thumb and the 4 fingers pointing up, and right above that is a crown, right? And the irony, having lived there, grown up there and here, the irony is such a joke, because here I was raised in the traditional orange Protestant rah-rah, the Queen, pro-Masonic and all the rest of this shit. Go figure, I'm the one that's dismantling it all, and that's exactly how I was raised, which is really funny. I looked at a lot of stuff, and of course hearing all the different stories, but you got to remember, when you're raised Protestant in Northern Ireland, you're raised typically anglicized bullshit, where you got people claiming to be Irish, but they're nothing more than transplanted English. And again, this is not a slight on the English. It's the crown aspect when I say that, right? So it's crownified, if you will, way of thinking. And by no means is that a slight. And by the way, if you took it as one, that's your ego, and let it go. I'm trying to show the energies and the allegories here. So anyway, check this out yesterday, and I'll just go through what's on Wikipedia. You can look for it on Wiki, Red Hand of Ulster. And if you want to share along here, I'm going to expand a little bit on it, but I just find it incredibly ironic that the very ones that claim to be Irish, and you'll understand the context very shortly, are the ones waving a flag with the royal crown over top of that red hand, which of course tells you visually that particular king of Ulster, the O'Neills, was under the rule of another crown. Bullshit. Sorry about that. Anyway, The Red Hand of Ulster in Irish, I wish I could pronounce this. This is one of the things that was robbed from me, my natural tongue, being Gaelic. Lam Derg Ulad is a symbol used in heraldry. Well, we all know what that is. To denote the Irish province of Ulster. And all of its provincials, the Hicks, the unrefined, uneducated. It is an open right hand colored red with the fingers pointing upwards, the thumb held parallel to the fingers, and the palm facing forward. It is less commonly known as the Red Hand of O'Neill. Its origins are said to be attributed to the mythical Irish figure Labraid Lam Derg, Labraid of the Red Hand, and appears in other mythical tales passed down from generation to generation in the oral tradition, as it was to me. The symbol is rooted in Irish Gaelic culture and is particularly associated with the O'Neill clan of Ulster.